So we're here today for the Startup Hub, and today's topic is crowdfunding, and specifically crowdfunding in the UK. Joining me in the studio is Emily Mackay, who's CEO and founder of Crowdsurfer, who aggregate multiple crowdfunding platforms. So welcome, Emily.
Hi Tom.
Welcome to the Startup Hub. Emily, first of all, Crowdsurfer, probably an organisation that some people know, but there'll be a lot of people out there who don't know much about Crowdsurfer. Can you just explain simply what Crowdsurfer is about?
Sure, thanks. Yes, so what we're building is the data intelligence service for the crowdfinance world. So what you have really in crowdfinance is many thousands of platforms now, so websites where funders and fundraisers can meet, and they're transacting billions of dollars around the world. And this has been growing for 5-10 years now, but the problem is that there is no authority, there's no truth on what's really going on. There isn't a data service like you have in the financial world with Reuters or The Economist Intelligence, for example. So that's exactly what we're building, but for the crowdfinance world.
And currently, how many platforms do you aggregate information from?
So we know of about 1,800 platforms worldwide, but that doesn't really include China, which is in itself a very big but very volatile market. And we're adding about 1 or 2 a day that are being launched globally. So you can get a feel for the kind of pace of change that's happening.
That's an incredible scale. And what does that relate to in terms of numbers for the UK?
In the UK, there's about 180 platforms live at the moment. There's always new ones waiting in the wings as well. But as a country, that's a lot. You know, we're really leading the way in the crowdfinance space.
Have we reached a stage where crowdfunding is really a viable option now for tech-based startups?
It's really interesting to see the tech market adopt this very early on. So when we look at the data, what we can see is that there is quite a wide range of tech products and tech services using crowdfinance to make their audience aware of what they're doing and to gather that finance in. We're seeing trends in things like blockchain, Internet of Things, cybersecurity, biotech, payments mechanisms, all the things that everyone's very excited about at the moment are presenting themselves through the crowdfinance mechanism. So we can start to track those trends and identify exactly what is getting funded, what people are prepared to put their money into.
And if you were sat here with a few startups that were looking at crowdfunding as a kind of interim kind of investment opportunity, what would your advice be to them when they consider crowdfunding as an option?
Yeah, I think it's great to consider it as an option. You do need to do your research. It's not an easy option. In fact, it's no easier than getting any other source of funding, but it does give you a different flavour of collaborator or investor or contributor. If you have a physical product, it's a very good way of testing the market and understanding what it is they want. It's a very good way of getting feedback as well. When you've got a live campaign, you can gather that feedback before the campaign's even closed. But you do need to do your research. Platforms are very different. They'll offer different features and services and fees, and you want to look for precedents as well. What have they done before that's very similar to your campaign, your business, and how did that fare? So there's a lot to find out before you go live with a campaign.
From a UK perspective, what do you see as the trend in terms of kind of crowdfunding versus VC funding? How do you think the UK is faring in that kind of analysis?
So yeah, we don't compare directly with the VC market, any of our data, but what we are seeing is more institutions get involved. So this is a sign of maturity, it's a sign that trust is building, and it's a sign that the industry is growing, and it's worthy of established institutions looking into the market. So we do sometimes see cornerstone investors from the institutional world come in and sort of seed a campaign. We are seeing institutions use the crowdfinance mechanism to raise money as well. So it's going both ways. And that's very exciting because it brings scale, it brings professionalisation of the industry and those who are very experienced coming into it as well. So I think fundamentally, when you look at this crowdfinance realm and these marketplaces, everything's growing. The UK is definitely leading. And we're seeing many more opportunities and many more companies and institutions get involved in it.
What innovations do you expect to see coming through in the crowdfunding world over the next couple of years?
Oh, I mean, it's 2 years is going to change everything. We've actually built some artificial intelligence to start to characterise what's going on, because it is moving so fast that it's not really possible for a human to try and discern all these new areas that are popping up. So we were actually going to hand that off to an artificial intelligence system to do that for us. So maybe we'll ask the question of our system. We call it Daisy. We'll ask Daisy in a year's time or so what she's seeing. But I think there won't be an area that crowdfinance hasn't touched even a little bit in a couple of years.
Emily, thanks very much. It was
Very
really
welcome.
interesting. Thanks a lot.